Right, hello. We're going to have a look at some, let's go with bizarre fatwas. So, for anybody who's unaware, a fatwa is a ruling by, I guess the only qualification is an Islamic scholar slash imam. And because you may or may not be aware, there is no equivalent to, say, the Pope or the Patriarch or the, Archbishop, as we have in Christianity. There's no centralized figure of authority, and therefore they can get pretty, like, just odd. Most of them, I guess, they can be pretty mundane and, dare I say, unimaginative. And yet, let's just have a little look see, because really. Okay, so the Quran is, of course, the Quran, as you know. I mean, there's no getting around that logic. The Hadith are somewhat less authoritative, depending on the individual viewpoint of the Muslim or the school of thought to which he or she belongs. I don't know if you need to say she, actually. But the Hadith comprise, or they make up the Sunnah, as in the way of life that he lived, if he did. And therefore, whatever he did is the best example, obviously. So yeah, let's have a look, because I'm in a funny mood today. Okay, so thinking of cosmic bodies, that's not like street chat for attractive women. This is cosmic, as in, let's have a look at the sun and the earth, shall we? And I'll just stop waffling. I'll pass the baton on to some of these loans. So this is Grand Mufti Sheikh Ibn Baz. The sun revolves around the earth. Okay, you're with me. I mean, it doesn't, obviously, but let's go. The year 2000, this was released. And the fatwa is titled "The Transmitted and Sensory Proofs of the Rotation of the Sun and Stillness of the Earth." And Saudi Arabian Grand Mufti Sheikh Ibn Baz asserted that the Earth was flat and disc-like. I don't know. I mean, you've got more chance of having read Terry Pratchett, I guess, than Grand Mufti Sheikh Ibn Baz. I'm sure that's not what his mum called him. However, yeah, he says the Earth is a pizza shape, in effect, flat and disc-like, and that the sun revolves around it. He has insisted that satellite images to the contrary were nothing but a Western conspiracy. Why? Against the Islamic world, of course. Keep up. Okay. Now we look to the satanic verses. These are a set of verses within the Quran whereby, in a nutshell, Allah, Al-Uzza, and Manat are supposedly daughters of Allah who will carry the prayers of the faithful up to Allah. Coincidentally, they were already venerated within the pagan tribe to which Muhammad was, I guess, trying to win their allegiance. Afterwards, when it was pointed out to him that bro, as it were, he said that not only he, but no prophet in history has been able to get away with it without Satan, Shaitan even, slipping words onto their tongue, into their mouth, causing them to go astray. So please do concentrate, by the way, if anybody's trying to distract you in the live chat. Okay, so the fatwa is Ayatollah Khomeini. I'm assuming you've heard of him. And it's, kill due to, for a book that nobody is supposed to read anyway, if they're Muslim. So in 1988, the publication of author Salman Rushdie's book, which is also entitled The Satanic Verses, led the Iranian revolutionary leader, Ayatollah Khomeini. I'm going to just pause and remind you that some nations, some Islamic nations, are not governed by democracy, but they are governed by imams, by sheikhs, by religious leaders. Let's put it like that. Anywho, Ayatollah Khomeini issued the fatwa against Rushdie with a massive reward for ultimately his death. And this did indeed trigger several attacks on, translators of the book, publishers of the book, booksellers who stocked the book, including the murder of a Japanese translator of the book, Hitoshi Igarashi. It's pretty wild. Millions of Muslims around the world who had never read one single line of the book, that should be remembered, and who'd never met Rushdie or conversed with him, called for his death. And a little snippet of a fun fact, as it were, at the time of the fatwa, 24% of Iranians could not read or were illiterate, to put it correctly. Okay, next up, the fatwa, Malaysian National Fatwa Council. This is the, latterly named Tomboy Fatwa. So a University of Massachusetts study recently reported that girls who play sports have higher self-esteem. They are also less likely to enter or remain in abusive relationships. I wonder if this fact or estimation may have been threatening to the Malaysian National Fatwa Council. Why do you need a Fatwa Council? Who knows? So Kuala Lumpur had basically a near riot on their hands when the Sisters in Islam marched against a Malaysian fatwa which banned tomboys. For anybody who's not a native English speaker, a tomboy is a girl who, it's such a broad definition, potentially who wears trousers, maybe likes to play football, usually in English certainly is used to refer to a younger girl who may not display all of the stereotypical societally acceptable female traits. Although, of course, you might as well just throw that all in the bin nowadays because it could well be a boy in the making, as it were. Anywho, they had a riot because the Sisters in Islam marched against the fatwa which banned them. Banned tomboys. Any girls who acted, this is according to the fatwa, in an unladylike manner were violating Islamic tenets. Fortunately, fortuitously, the as yet undefined punishment for Malaysian girls in a t-shirt and jeans hasn't been incorporated into Sharia law at this time. We're going to move on to Mickey Mouse. You heard me. Yeah, you did. Okay, Mohammed Al-Munajid says here, bring me the head of Mickey Mouse. Let's read on. Okay, so somebody put a hit on the mixer, as it were, on Mickey Mouse, calling Mickey one of Satan's soldiers. I mean, let's not get into Disney at the moment. However, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Munajid decreed that household mice and their cartoon country cousins, as it were, must be killed in all cases. This is not your average loon. Munajid used to be he was previously a diplomat at the Saudi embassy in Washington, D.C. He made these remarks on Arab television network, I don't want to pronounce it, Al-Majd TV, after he was asked to give Islam's teaching on mice. Munajid also put a hit on Jerry from Tom and Jerry. All right, stop. Yeah, there's a report on that from the British mainstream. They actually picked up on that. Okay, now we're going to go on to emojis, emoticons. Multaka al-Hadith, that's the name. The emoticon fatwa. They can be irritating. But they can be lovely if you want to say something without a tone of voice and you want to ensure that the person receiving this message doesn't read it in a, kind of div tone of voice. So you put the emojis into, that's the point of them, I guess, although they do individually represent various things that the software companies decide. And then they, for example, take the eggs out of salads, like in the little picture, so they don't offend vegans. Let's not even go there. There are crazy people in all walks of life. So, according to the Muslim Internet Forum, which is Multaka al Hadith, spelt differently to Hadith, as it were, emoticons are forbidden because of its imitation of Allah's creatures. I often stop in the street to look at the genuine yellow circular dismembered. Okay, stop. Okay. To Allah's creatures, whether it's original or mixture or even deformed. And since the picture is the face, and the face is what makes the real picture, then emoticons which represent faces that express emotions, then all that add up to make them haram, somebody confidently asserted. Additionally, a woman, listen up, ladies, a woman should not use these images when speaking to a man who is not her mahram. I don't even know what that means. I apologize if you are my mahram. I ever did it. There you go. Because let's find out why. There's always a reasonable explanation. Let's see if this is it. Because these faces are used to express how she is feeling. I mean, really? So it is as if she is smiling, laughing, acting shy, and so on. And a woman should not do that with a what's name man. I guess not a father, brother, husband, / that kind of jazz. It's only permissible for a woman to speak to men in cases of necessity. You absolute hussies. Only if, the caveat, sorry, I should have read to the end, so long as that is in a public chat room, because it wouldn't be in a public place, not unless you're holding up cards to show that you're actually laughing, lol, or whatever, not in private correspondence. Who do you think you are, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, the football fatwa. Sorry, I feel slightly more offended by this before I've even got into it. Okay, not even football / soccer, I don't know where you're from, is unscathed by this raft of decrees and ordinances, as it were. So as part of a government drive to eliminate frivolous fatwas, yeah, you heard me, the Saudi newspaper Al Watan lampooned, extracted the urine from, or, lampooned one very real edict setting out new rules for football. Everyone holding their breath on the edge of their seats. Let's go. So ridiculous demands included. Hold up. Do not play with 11 people like the heretics, Jews, and Christians. Right? That's, standard. And play in your pajamas or regular clothes, because coloured shorts and numbered T-shirts are not Islamic clothing. You don't say, Jose. Okay, we're going to go for big air, as it were. There's an edict to remove the crossbar, which is the top bar along, like at the top of the goal, in order not to imitate the heretics and in order to be entirely distinct from the soccer system's despotic international rules. I'm guessing they haven't heard of rugby. But let's go on. Vaccines, or vaccine. Okay, the infidel vaccine. I didn't know you could become inoculated from disbelief when Allah surely misguides who he misguides. Come on now. Okay, polio. So it's on the increase in India, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Pakistan. I have my own personal feelings about the polio vaccine. we shan't get into those. But maybe coincidentally or causatively or correlatory to this fact is that the anti-polio fatwa by anti-Western clerics, which forbid Pakistani children from immunizations because, and I mean immunizations as in things which immunize. I know before 2019, that's what we all thought a vaccine was, something that vaccinates, but obviously language runs ahead of us, and they just have these secret meetings where they change the meaning of words. Either way, children in Pakistan, nope. Because the clerics say the vaccine is a conspiracy to make Muslims sterile. Okay. I wonder if they checked out the fertility rates in other Islamic countries that don't have. Who knows? Who knows? However, it's worth noting, just for the sake of logic at this stage, that dead or paralytic children also do not go on, in most cases, to have children at all, especially the dead ones. So, could or could not be counterproductive or twaddle. Okay, nudity and sex. I mean, all right then. Rashad Hassan Khalil, no nudity for sex. We're not saying no nudity or sex because of the, obviously, if you're going to start banning stuff in case of suspected nefarious plans to cause your population to be infertile, you don't want to say no sex. What you want to say is keep your clothes on. In 2007, the former Dean of Islamic Law at Al-Azhar University in Cairo issued a fatwa that nudity during sexual intercourse invalidates a marriage. It's not just a bit iffy. It's not just like, oh, don't do that. Keep your socks on, or I don't know what classy kind of stuff you're into. It invalidates the marriage. Now, listen up, kids. Don't. Debate was pretty forthcoming or immediate. Suad Saleh, who is head of the women's department at Al-Azhar's Islamic Studies, pleaded for anything that can bring spouses closer to each other. I guess not referencing the toothbrush and the banishing to beds apart, etc. Islamic scholar Abdul Muti concurred, i.e. agreed, saying nothing is prohibited during marital sex, except, of course, sodomy. I wonder if Abdul Muti has read Reliance of the Traveller. Potentially not. For his part, Al-Azhar's Fatwa Committee chairman, Abdullah Megawar, backpedaled, wearing clothing, obviously, at the time, and said that married couples could see each other naked. However, they really ought to use a blanket while they were getting down to it. Okay, we're nearly there, man. Two more. Urine. Yep. I'm trying to think of family-friendly other names. But wee, that'll do. Sheikh Ali Gomar. This is the urine fatwa. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's camel, though. Let's find out. According to Egypt's Grand Mufti, Sheikh Ali Gomar, drinking... Okay. Let's go there. Drinking the urine of Muhammad. I'm not sure he's producing anymore, but drinking the urine of Muhammad is deemed a great blessing. Potentially, you heard it here first. I'm just going to process that for a hot second. Is there some sort of artificial stockpiling going on and they just need to get it out the warehouses? Have they got a load lying around? Okay. Obviously, Muhammad didn't claim to be divine. why does his urine or saliva, actually, now I think of it, but this is not contained in this fatwa, like why does it have these medicinal / magical properties? After some, I don't know about kickback, but people rolling in the aisles, potentially urinating themselves, the Mufti later recanted, saying it was just his personal opinion. I mean, how redundant is it? Okay, lastly, breastfeeding. Not adult. Oh, no, adult. I'm sorry, I was thrown there by common sense. Okay, Ezat Atia, adult breastfeeding in the workplace. So in May 2007, Ezat Atia wondered how unrelated men and women could work together in the same office when Islam forbids men and women who are not married or related to be alone together. I mean, it's definitely a poser. One wonders about this man's sexual prowess or scope for being friendly with the ladies, because his answer, oh yes, was to wait up. What? Please, Jesus, there's a typo here. His answer was let her suckle him 5 times. That seems the wrong way round for Islam. Anywho, an adult female, it is the right way around. Breastfeeding an adult male co-worker will, it's common sense, bro, will diffuse all sexual tension in the office. As will looking up ladies' skirts, touching their bottom. I don't know. Like, I seriously, logic is a thing. Like, it's an actual thing. But it's sometimes scarce. So let me just run through that again. Yep, that's it. 5 times. I mean, 4 times, and woof, there could still be like sexual tension you could cut with any sharp implement of your choosing. But 5 times, 5 is the magic number, because obviously you can't say 3. 5 is the magic number. If you do it 5 whole times, I don't know if it's each breast or if it's like 5 times on the one, maybe just like, jazz it up a bit, jazz it down a bit, as it were. Because help me, Jesus. Because the female worker will now, of course, be the male co-worker's foster mother. And now they can be alone together anytime. 9 to 5, I guess, or 8 to 6, whatever working hours are. This was mocked, not just by me, pretty much universally, as it were, and condemned, unanimously by all. And they potentially also pointed and said, "Shame, donut." I mean, maybe they were unaware as to Mohammed's ruling on this matter, which, Anyway, he was later suspended from his job. He was pilloried in Arab newspapers, and he did issue a quick retraction. I mean, when he didn't have his mouth full, he managed to say it was a bad interpretation of a particular case. And I assume that he had been potentially drinking something he shouldn't have been, and maybe reading the Quran. Okay, I've got to come back to the live chat because I've got a couple of hadith as well, but I can't. No, I can't do it all in one go. I just can't. Mohammed Hamdan, what does that have to do with anything? I'm not. Thank you to my admins. What does that have to do with anything? I'm not going to dignify your twaddle with repeating the question, but unless something is like I say, ordained, as it were, by the Pope, potentially the Patriarch, the Archbishop, the Church, adopts this way of behaviour, which a fatwa is some distancing or disavowing of behaviour or endorsing it, what happens in Europe has zero things to do with Christianity. It's just like, like a Christian person in Pakistan has nothing to do with Islam, does it? Unless they're being torn to pieces in the street, of course. But whatevs. Okay, any questions? Any questions, please? Like ones that you think about for a couple of seconds before typing out, maybe. Because I don't want to be biting anyone's head off. For one thing, it's, you have to get it out of your teeth. For you have to repent. You have to. Anyhow, questions or chitty chat, and then I'm going to go in a few minutes. Okay, I know you love talking to each other. I love that you talk to each other, but I'm over here. Sorry. Or I can just like cut this vid, as it were. So I know there's a slight delay, so I shall wait momentarily. And otherwise, hi, Jordan. Some days you just got to go there, babes. There are, Chris Mack, there are some, going home, I'm coming to you. There are some absolute humdingers. There's some corkers. There's some, I love stand-up comedy. I even, I quite adore sit-down comedy as well. But there's some stuff that is like meant in a serious fashion that is just have you rolling. So Going Home is asking, do I believe in the raptured? I think that's probably the rapture. And yes, I do. I see it in the Bible, and therefore I believe, as it were. Daniel Apologetics is asking, it again, or not again, for the first time ever, I'm going to run this by everyone. I am not an Islamic scholar / mufti / shaker, as it were. Is Fanta halal? I know that because Daniel Apologetics is not advertising, but is drinking it now. I do know that I believe cheese and onion potato chips, or crisps, as they're really called in the right part of the world, as it were. I believe that those are haram because of something in the flavouring. I know that certain jelly sweets are also haram. I think some mints, anything with gelatin. I feel like it's a similar thing for vegetarians because they can't be certain that it's not from pork products, pork sausages, ham, bacon, all haram, unfortunately, for Muslims. Mohammed, please, darling, if you want to come, you were talking of bestiality not a moment ago, and now you're maybe the horses that you were referring to, were they quite high? Because you now seem to be seated on one and telling other people what they can and can't bring up in relation to, I don't know, your religion. Just chill out, babes, innit? Just chill. If you want to be confrontational, you have to. If you can fire bullets, you have to take them back again. Daniel Apologetics has just remembered that he doesn't actually care whether it is or it isn't. Mark chapter 7, what a touch. And thus all foods were made clean. And there you have it. That's not to say like, well water with sanitary pads and dead dogs potentially floating in it. Not that kind of, and now it's clean. But yes, all foods are made clean because, just a little snippet of info, because Jesus said, and I'm paraphrasing or butchering, he said that whatever enters a man and woman, that's the Monty Python bit, by the mouth cannot ritually defile somebody. It cannot make them unclean in the same sense as it could within the old covenant, because it merely passes out into the draft, as it were. It's not taking up residence in your body, it's just passing through. However, he does say that whatever goes out of the mouth from the heart, that can defile a man. So you can be made unclean by your words, but you cannot be made unclean by, for example, a bacon sandwich and a Fanta. I mean, Jesus didn't reference either of those foodstuffs. Okie dokie. Pig in a pokey, as it were. All right, I've got a few seconds, literally. If anyone is bursting. Oh, hold on, Chris Mack. I'm sorry, lovey. I just saw that scoot by. Why is... Oh, because I've got my emojis open at the bottom. I'm going to say no, Chris Mack, but I will read it out, only because of time restraints, but I will read it out. And if there's anything specific, if you stick it in the comment section and we can have a look, I don't know, in another video. It's, can we talk about revelations and the whore, that's the word you're looking for, my love, of Babylon. I read some strange things in darker corners of the internet recently, tying that to the current happenings in the Black Sea area. Okay, so the book of the Apocalypse or Revelation does have a character called the Whore of Babylon. She will be drunk on the blood of the saints. She rides in on a... Yeah, she's got some good descriptors going on, especially the naming and the shaming, as it were. But I guess if you, Chris, if you want to, if you add a link to anything, quite frankly, and put a comment in the comment section, nobody else will see it other than me. Then it's a good idea to put a comment telling me that you've put a comment with a link, because otherwise, you know, I get many loons commenting, etc. Not that you're one of them. So yeah, if you want to tell me what the aspersions are, what the links that others have made and that you've come across, I will see. Yeah, I'll see if I can help illuminate those for you. Revelation isn't really my book of expertise, although I find it much clearer, oddly enough, now than I ever did before. Yeah, before it felt a little bit, I'm not saying this in a defamatory way. Yeah, it felt a bit Pink Floyd. It felt a bit like potentially you needed some, I don't know, something else in order to be able to understand it, or potentially, yeah, I'm going to say that it seemed like a bit trippy, but it doesn't anymore. And also there's a lot of, yeah, let's chat about it. If you stick something in the comment section and like, just let me know vaguely what these people are saying, then we can look at it more closely. Yes. And I can ask one of my professors also if they're like contentious claims. Okie dokie on that bombshell. I do have an assignment that I should be getting on with. I probably won't, but it sounds good. It sounds very efficient and like a can-do attitude, but actually I'll potentially not be doing it so that I can save up the stress as per usual to like just the 11th hour seems to work for me. But I have the skeleton, as it were, of it. So let's not panic, everybody. I have enough words. I just need to rearrange the words, put new words in, take old words out, and then redo it a few times. Semi-breakdown, suicidal ideation, try and do the whole thing from scratch up, like with 20 minutes to go, and piece of piddle, as it were. No worries, Chris. I shall endeavour to do just that. Okay, I'm going to press the button. Mohammed Hamdan, it's Miss Piggy. If you want to understand Islam, you're YOU''RE, not going to get it from CP. And I beg to differ. Actually, Christian Prince is a ledge. And anyone who doesn't believe it, just try harder. All right, then. I didn't press the button. I have pressed the button now because of, convention and that. And I'm going to go because I'd say I have a life, but lying is a sin. But I do have stuffs. All right. And please, God, I will see you all tomorrow. Anywho, from Speaker's Corner. And who knows, if your luck's in, bad or good, I may do another video later, but I wouldn't have said that live on air because the pressure. Anyway, stop waffling, okay? Right. You're very welcome, Amra. God bless you all. And I tell you what, I want to tell you one more thing. To edify and encourage is a part of the commission. Like, it's a part of the two greatest commandments. So if you have, I mean, you do have, I don't want to say if you have a way, because you obviously do. Do something nice for somebody, whether they know you've done it or not is actually irrelevant, as long as you have. That could include praying for somebody, sending them a little message, or an actual letter by snail mail, even. I don't know what it is, like a reaching out, like a next time you see any elderly neighbours, you could double check if they need anything from the shops or the stores or whatever you call it where you are. Like, loads of little tiny things, not flipping off a driver because you're hungry or angry or tired or something like that. There are myriad ways to make somebody else's day better. And if you're not doing it, it's fine. You may be very busy, but it makes your day better as well. Like, it really does. It is a blessing to be a blessing. So I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I mean? Do what you want, really. I mean, let me just step back out of your life. But that's my advice for what it's worth. So yeah, I'll see you all later. God bless you, and ciao.